Jump in 41-degree water. Look at that. There we go. I'm a zoom swimmer. Not a bad one. Hold the chunk. 3-pound fish. But yeah, just throwing it out, letting it get on the bottom, and winding it real slow. If I feel like I lose contact with the bottom, I just quit reeling, watch. When the line goes limp, and I just start winding again. If I feel like I'm catching too much, then I turn the handle a couple quick turns, get it back up off the bottom, and speed up my cadence just a little bit. Just trying to keep it as close to the bottom as I can. That's a healthy fish, fat. Get him back in there. That's 41-degree water. And that fish was trying to jump out here. So they're up there feeding. They're in this area for a reason, because there's a ton of bait fish. I marked all kinds of bait when I came through here. So I'm just kind of trying to stay and change my angles a little bit, working out a little deeper. You know, I might throw open 10-foot of cast, then 12-foot, 15-foot, 20-foot, and I keep working out until I kind of find that line where I need to bring my bait through there every time. There he is. That's a big one. Big. Smallmouth. Big old mouthfish. That's what's holding my tail over there. Is it?
Look at that smallmouth. Look at that big old. Now look how pretty. Look at all those pretty little specks on his belly. Man, look at that dude right there. Jason just had one hit his Zoom swimmer and rolled the tail up. And that's the new 4-inch Zoom swimmer. And gosh, look what a beautiful, beautiful smallmouth that is. Look at the little specks on his belly. God, that's a pretty fish.
Really?
Oh, I said he was big.
Yellow looking deep fish
On that Zoom swimmer. And I mean, I felt him hit it, and he pushed like 5 or 6 feet of slack in the line, you know, and just like that one Jason called earlier, you know, just throwing that out on a 1/2 ounce VMC head, 4-inch Zoom swimmer. I've got it on 14-pound Suffolk fluorocarbon. I got a new Lew's custom Team Lew's custom pro reel and a 6/8-1 and a 7/6 Lew's Team Custom Pro rod, and just kind of really throwing it out there, letting it go to the bottom, and just really following the contour, following the bait back. Man, when they hit it, even in this cold 40-degree water, they really knock slack in it.
Yeah, for both would order another one. Oh, that was Smallmouth. Oh, he spit up some shad. Bluegill. He spit up a bluegill.
Bluegill?
Uh-huh. It was still alive when he spit it out.
Huh.
It's struggling back there.
Yeah.
Scoop that up in a second. Oh, so here's the deal. Another little fish. We'll throw it back. Little smallmouth, boy, they're mean. But yeah, so when the whole deal with swim baiting, in my opinion, is to train yourself to maintain bottom contact. And the biggest tip I learned from a guy, Don Mormon, taught me. He's a big swim baiter out west. He taught me to look at your spool. Because a lot of people think they're winding slow, but then you look down at your spool and your spool's spinning super fast. So the bait's getting up off the bottom. It gets 5-6 feet up off the bottom. Now you're not even close to those fish. So what I do when I throw out there, I let it hit the bottom in 20 foot of water. It's kind of hard to keep it down there. That's just a 1/2 ounce head, 4-inch zoom swimmer. I got it on like 17-pound line. And I throw it out there and let it hit bottom, and then I look at my spool and I can see how slow my spool is turning, and that's how I know I'm swimming it slow. If I feel like it's catching on the bottom too much, I'll just increase my speed just a little bit, just enough where I'm just touching that bottom every now and again, but I'm not getting bogged up and hanging up and losing my swim baits, because there's tons of rocks in this area. That's why the fish are in this area. That and lots of bait. That fish that just came up spit up a little baby bluegill, which is interesting to me. I hadn't even thought, maybe that's what they're down there feeding on, because I saw a lot of bait fish kind of up on the rocks, and it would make sense. There's lots of little bluegill on these rocks. But little 4-inch swimmer in the winter. The bait's real small. It's stunted. It's kind of stunned, so you want to swim slow. A little profile bait like that catches really good fish. Get him?
Got him. He's loaded up. Look at him jump. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him jump. I'll do that one out. Not bad. Cold water dude. Got it right in the roof of the mouth. I didn't even feel him bite. I mean, it just got heavy and stopped. Got him on the old 4-inch zoom swimmer. There's a good one. He was out here way deep, way out here off of it. I actually mashed my button. And it's a smallmouth, not a big old smallmouth. I actually mashed my button and let my swim bait go all the way back to the bottom. And when I got this really nice, Holly, look at him shaking his head, swimming around there. Yeah, I got out here probably 22 feet deep, and I actually mashed my button. Man, I got on so many clothes I can't even bend over to get him out. We got that zoom swimmer, 4-inch zoom swimmer, right in the top of his mouth. And man, what a beautiful smallmouth that is right there. Got those specks on his belly. Got his winter colors. It's a lot of fun. So today we got out here, it's, late December, it's almost Christmas. Water temps barely 40 degrees, like 41 degree water temps. We actually busted ice launching out of here this morning just to get out to the lake to fish. This time of year, a really great bait for fishing is a swim bait. And this is just a zoom 5-inch swimmer and a zoom 4-inch swimmer. We got this one on a 3/4 ounce head, this one on a 1/2 ounce head, and it kind of just depends on the mood of the fish. This has got a little bit harder thump. It's not going to swim as good at a super slow retrieve like you might have to use fishing in the winter, because you don't want to hardly move the bait. You want to just keep it moving just barely off the bottom, but you got to have that tail kick. Both these baits swim really good, but the nice thing about the new 4-inch they just came out is that section of tail is really thin through there, so it takes almost no pressure. So it takes, at the slowest retrieves, that tail still has a nice little kick. And we got out there today and caught several 4- and 5-pound fish, some big smallmouth out in 20 foot of water, pretty windy conditions.
it's a half-ounce head, and you just basically would throw it out and let it hit bottom, and then you would just start in on a super slow retrieve. And like I said earlier, I get to where I look at my spool, and that helps me slow myself down, because sometimes you get to talking and you're looking around and kind of paying attention to what's going on around there, and you don't realize how fast you're turning the handle and that spool is spinning, especially if you're using like a 7-to-1, 8-to-1 gear ratio. So I like a 6-8, 6-4-to-1 gear ratio. Wind it real slow, look at the spool, see how slow the line's coming on there. But you have to use a swim bait that will kick at a super slow speed. A lot of swim baits, the material is so thick through there, you can't get that tail to kick at a slow speed. The bait is just basically it's not even swimming. This tail's just kind of moving a little bit. But with this bait, as thin as it is, you can kind of see how it lays over, how much it moves just in my hand at a super slow speed, really cold water, 39, 40 degree water, down there in 20 foot of water, and you're winding super slow. It still has a really good action that obviously made the fish bite today. So check it out, 4-inch swimmer. The fish are a little more active. The water gets up in the high 40s. 50s. You might upsize to the 5-ounce, and to the 5-inch, and if you're gonna want to fish a little bit deeper, I might go up to a 3/4-ounce head on that bigger bait, because it does have a harder kick, which is going to cause it to lift more. So a heavier head will keep it down there on the bottom when you're trying to reach those fish in 20 foot of water.